What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and I am pumped to share this list with you guys today. So today we're going to be looking at the 10 cards that exchanged hands the most on TCG Player for the month of February. Now that is incredibly important and impactful and macro level data because between eBay and TCG Player, like those are the two biggest marketplaces for Pokemon cards. So when we understand what people are buying and selling, that gives us an idea of overall market trends. We did this in January, we did it in February, now we're going to continue to do this every single month. And in my continued pursuit to make things better and better for you guys, I've added two things to this one that I didn't have last month that I think are really cool. So I added stars on there. So a product that's been on here 2 months in a row is going to have 2 stars. Next month, if it's on 3 months in a row, it'll have 3. Just a little tweak, but I think it's pretty cool. And then I also added the booster box or ETB box price, depending on what set it comes from, in the lower left-hand corner, simply because in this channel, we're always trying to correlate data, right? We play chess, other people play checkers, so we're going to try and do correlations between single card prices and booster box prices. And in this video in particular, we have seen some things that we've talked about in previous videos unintendedly, and now we're starting to see the movement here in the single card prices where we've been talking about booster boxes, right? We've been talking about the value of the single cards versus booster box price. Like some of these sets we said, hey, they might not be the best set, but something's got to give because the prices are there. Like, anyways, this is the whole reason we do this data dives. And if you guys enjoy stuff like this, if you appreciate this, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. I am on a pursuit to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to do a great giveaway, and there's no better way to say thank you to me for the time and effort that I put in than by doing one of those 3 things, or hopefully all 3 of them. Anyways, all right, we have a lot of cool stuff to get after, but as important as what's on the list is what's not on the list. So first we'll talk about what has dropped off month over month. So in January, no surprise, right? We saw those big hitters from Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith had just dropped. Everybody was all about the V-Star Gold cards. And they've dropped off this month. I don't think that's a bad thing. If you look, the price of the individual cards, the Giratina's doing really well. The Arceus is kind of on this downward slide. But you know, they're still doing okay. It's too early to see what's going to happen. We all know that when a new product comes out, prices are sky high, and then they start to come down and normalize a bit. So this is certainly within the normalization period. So it is yet to, you know, nobody's calling this a sinking ship by any means, especially that Giratina. Look at that, flattening out in such a short amount of time. I think that's a really good indicator of long-term growth. And also, if you think that because these two dropped off the list that there's not going to be Crown Zenith represented on this top 10, you're absolutely crazy because Crown Zenith is all over this place. A little disappointed to see my base set Charizard drop off. I was really excited to see it on there last month. But, you know, as an old tenured card, you know, one of the OGs, I guess we'll see months where it's on or off. But it is off this month, and I will not be surprised when we see it jump back on sometime further down the road. And then, again, no surprise to me to start seeing these Charizard V-Star, Black Star promos that came in the UPC boxes dropping off. It was really hot there for a while. I still think, you know, I don't know if... I'm not saying now is the time, but I do think that there's going to be a point where this set's going to start to turn around, or at least that sealed Ultimate Premium Collection is going to start to turn around. I don't think today is the day, but it's certainly something worth keeping an eye on. But this one has dropped off the list. Now, let's get after it. All right? This is one of the things that I was referencing earlier. We have been talking kind of in whispered, hushed voices here over the last couple videos over the last month about Vivid Voltage, right? I've been watching it on eBay. I've been saying, hey, you know, the eBay prices are starting to go up for this sealed product. It's certainly past the reprint window. I don't think any more of it's coming out. There might be some small restocks, but, you know, the Chunkachu has just absolutely caught fire. Look at the booster box prices in the lower left-hand corner. Look at the singles prices for this Chunkachu. It's still not at the all-time high or the one-year high, which was right around $185, but it's knocking at the door at $172. Exciting to see this product get on here. And again, remember, think back to the graded video that we did when we did the grading market review for February. What was one of the top graded sets in that video? Vivid Voltage. Like, all these videos are going to play into each other. All of these videos are going to start to correlate. If you remember, end of December, early January, we did a booster box projection where we put all of the booster box prices for the last 12 months. We put it into a BI calculator, and it gave us out Q1 projections. We're going to be going over that pretty soon. Like, spoiler alert, it's amazing. I'm pulling the data. It's going to be so much fun. All of these build on top of one another, and again, I can't say it enough. This is how we play chess. All right. Enough about the Chunkachu. Excited to see it on here. Excited to see Vivid Voltage doing well, and excited to feel a little vindication because we have been talking about this on this channel. Next, No surprise, Evolving Skies number 2 makes the list. This Rayquaza right here is on absolute fire. Look at Evolving Skies in the lower left-hand corner. I know some people are talking about, well, you know, you could find some booster boxes that randomly, sporadically popped up on Pokemon Center. I know you can find the ETBs at Walmart. Evolving Skies does not care. It is a freight train. It's continuing to go up and to the right. I don't know if it will continue forever, but it certainly has seemed to weather every storm that it can, and it has continued to do really, really well. You will see there's been a couple bumps in the road along the way, but even this card, it started to come down, 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 down in January. It just hit that low point, and it said the market, not it, the market, which is the one that determines prices, the market said, this card is worth more than $270, and it started that climb back up, and now it is back up over $283. So, surprise, spoiler alert, there might be another Evolving Skies card on this list. Next, this one is a little interesting to me. So I have been on the Brilliant Stars train. I've been saying Evolving Skies is number 1. I think Chilling Reign is number 2. And then I certainly thought Brilliant Stars was in the number 3 space. But it seems to be flattening out a little bit, and that's being driven by this Charizard. Like, this is the big chase card in that set. You see that the prices have been coming down. The thing that I'm not saying concerns me, but the thing to notice when you look at a chart like this is you'll see in like July and August, you'll see that it hit these lows and then it bounced up. Then it hit a low, then it bounced up. So those are like lower resistance bands, right? Like that's where the price gets so low that the market just says, hey, I'm going to buy these cards. So the price initially goes up. But you'll see in January, towards the end of January, that lower resistance got a little bit lower. Now, again, this is a relatively new product. Like it hasn't been out for too long. And the booster boxes performed very well. I mean, you can still buy these at MSRP, $145 at Pokemon Center, and it's selling for $180 on the secondary market. So, I mean, it's silly to do that, but people are doing it. I don't know why. But this card is going to be an interesting one to watch. I do like how it has that tail that's flipped up here at the end. Hopefully this goes on a really big bull run. I think the art on this card is absolutely fire. I think this card is going to do really well regardless of what happens in the next 3-6 months. I think in the long run this card is going to be absolute fire. I think Brilliant Stars is going to be fire. But I just wanted to call out that Brilliant Stars is flattening out a little bit, so we shall see what happens. But back-to-back months on this list for this Charizard V alt art from Brilliant Stars, and we shall see. We shall see where it goes from here. Very next one, I was surprised to see this on here. We just can't get rid of it, right? So here it is, one of those Black Star promos from the Charizard UPC set that we were talking about. Last month it was number 9. It actually moved up on the list to number 7. Very interesting. Down there in the lower left, you'll see the price for those Charizard UPC boxes. Still on a downward trend, but it does seem to be flattening out a little bit. We're going to reach a point where the production of this, well, I think the production is over, but the supply of this is going to be completely dried up, and that is going to start to tick up and to the right. Do I think it's going to bounce up to $150, $175 anytime soon? I certainly do not, but do I think that a ton of these are getting ripped? And I think that there's still a great long-term buy and hold product. I absolutely do, but I was shocked to see that one of these Charizards made the list. I'm happy for it. I've got a bunch of these that are at PSA, and actually my PSA submission is being shipped back, so we will do a PSA reveal here relatively soon on this channel. I can't wait to show you guys all the Pokemon cards that I have coming back from PSA. I'm very, 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 very excited for that. So yeah, Charizard VMAX, can't get rid of it. Next one over here, Crown Zenith. Remember how I told you, gone but not forgotten, those 2 golds? Well, guess what? The Radiant Charizard made the list. So it's following that same new product trend, started super high, then it's coming back down. You'll see the Crown Zenith ETBs there. It was on a freaking rocket ship trajectory. Now it's starting to come down a little bit. Certainly something to watch over the next couple months to see where it goes. I do think when Scarlet and Violet comes out, a lot of attention is going to go from some of these older Sword and Shield sets, specifically on Scarlet and Violet. Hopefully that presents some buying opportunities for people like us who are keeping an eye on the prize. Instead of just, you know, that squirrel effect where we focus on what's in front of us right now. But this Radiant Charizard card is one. I've got 2 of them at PSA. Like I said, they're already graded. I can't wait to see. Hopefully I got 2 10s. I think they're going for about $100 on eBay right now. So I'll keep one for the PC and I'll sell one. But we shall see. 10s are not easy, but they did go straight from pack to sleeve to PSA. So we'll see. It's cooling off a bit, but this will probably be one of those solid cards. I don't think it's ever going to be, you know, a huge money one, but I certainly think it's worth having in the old collection because in the long run, if Crown Zenith really is short printed, if Crown Zenith really is like the end of the era, and because they're doing all these changes for Scarlet and Violet, geez, that was hard. If they are doing all these changes for Scarlet and Violet and Crown Zenith ends up being short printed, I think this could be a really great buy and hold for the long run. Next, Lost Origin. Look at that Lost Origin chart in the bottom left. Another card that has been here on back-to-back months. This card is just on fire. Every time it tries to go down, look at that. It tries to go down, it bounces up. It tries to go down, it bounces up. I have said time and time again, I think this artwork is absolutely beautiful. I love how it's a combination of dark and bright, and it's got this awesome vibe to it. It was number 3 last month. It dropped all the way to number 5 this month. It's funny that we say all the way to number 5 out of all the Pokemon cards in the world. This is the 5th one when in regards to trading hands on TCG Player, so kind of crazy to say only 5. But top 5 cards still. I think that it is going to continue to grow interest. It doesn't show any sign of slowing down, and we'll see, but I certainly am very bullish on this card, and Lost Origin is on absolute freaking fire here over the last 6 months. So something to keep an eye on there as well. This Pikachu, again, man, I talk about all these cards all the time, but I love this card. Like, I want this card in the PC so bad. I keep telling myself, you gotta wait. You gotta wait and see where it finally normalizes at. When this came out, I remember watching this on eBay selling for $100 a pop. Then everybody started talking about what an easy pull it was, but it's interesting. You see some of these much bigger Pokemon influencers out there who talk about it. Some people say they pull it all the time. Some people say they've never pulled it. I think poor Twice Baked Jake has opened, like, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of packs, and he's never pulled one. So it is really hard to do a sample size big enough to get actual projections on pull rates. Like, even if you open 5,000 packs, I mean, there are millions and millions of packs that are printed probably. So it is very hard to get a true representation of pull rate from a sample size, even as big as 5,000. So it doesn't make any sense when somebody says, definitive pull rates unless they've pulled just thousands and thousands and thousands of pack, and I'm sure people are out there doing that, so kudos to them. But this card's cooled off a bit. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. This is another one in Crown Zenith where I do think that just because the art is so cool, I think it'll be a good long-term buy and hold. So it's been on here back-to-back months, and we shall see, but I'm certainly keeping an eye on it. This is the card that I think in Crown Zenith might end up being the long-term breadwinner. I love everything about, I think this is the type of card where you look at the artwork on this card and you compare it to the artwork of some other cards from other sets that have become iconic, that have done really, really well, that have stood the test of time. I think this Mewtwo V-Star has everything that it needs. It's got the Zard on it. It's got Mew in a super aggressive pose about to frickin' hit him with the Psyball. Like, I just think this is an awesome card. I think this card is going to do really well. I have it on there. Mew plus Zard plus Crown Zenith equals dollars, especially, as I said earlier, if Crown Zenith ends up maybe not in a low production standpoint, but on a lighter side of the production standpoint. And again, all the Crown Zenith cards we've looked at thus far, they have been down and kind of tailed off. This one has come down, gone up, come down, and now it's starting to tail up a little bit. I am a big believer in this card long term. I think it is going to be one of the top 3, if not the top card out of Crown Zenith for sure. All right, here it is. The card that I talked about all the ones I like. From an art perspective, this just isn't for me, right? The Lugia here, it was number 1 last month. It dropped all the way to number 2. I think since it's from Silver Tempest, it's the newest full booster box supported set in Sword and Shield. A lot of the price of this card is just going to depend on the supply. I think there will be some demand for it for sure. I think demand will be enough to prop it up. Silver Tempest, again, I have this concern that the Sword and Shield era is done, finished. Put a sword in it, knock it out, no more coming out. Again, I think there's some in warehouses, but I certainly don't think there's going to be reprints. And if that's the case, then this card could pop in value with Silver Tempest being one of the last ones to drop and might end up being one of the shorter printed series from the whole Sword and Shield era. But back-to-back months, can't argue with being number 2 on the list, even though it is coming down and to the right. Again, sometimes we forget Crown Zenith is new. Silver Tempest is equally new, just shorter by a couple months. So seeing this tail down and to the right isn't a big deal. This is what we typically see. Although those big chase cards in the sets, I wish, some of them don't go down and to the right, right? Some of them come out and hold value. But here, the king lives on. The king, I mean, I don't know. This Moonbreon is just on absolute. It doesn't matter how many people pull them. It doesn't matter how many PSA 10s are in population. The demand continues to be there. Even when at times tries to normalize, you look in November, it dropped down. December, beginning of January, it was trying to go down, and the market just said, you are too cool. Evolving Skies is too powerful. We are not going to let you drop down. It went from number 2 last month to number 1 this month. I don't know why I don't have a strong desire to add it to my PC. I don't know. It's a cool card. I like it. It's just not something I'm chasing right now, probably because I feel like I can do a lot more with $550 right now than buying a single card. But again, back-to-back months in the top 2, back-to-back months being in the top 10. Evolving Skies is on fire. This card is doing awesome. I'm certainly happy with my booster box that I picked up the other month. I know I obviously paid a little bit of a premium for it, but again, like in the grand scheme of things, I think it'll end up being a bargain. And then this next slide, all right, this is gonna be one of those slides where you either think PikiPikaPapa is adorable or you're gonna think PikiPikaPapa is a moron. And I have done more research into Crown Zenith. I've done more research into those Charizard UPC boxes, probably than any other products. I've been super excited about both of them. I've been talking about them since the beginning of this channel. Do you know what I never realized? I'm such an idiot. Like, I love being totally human with you guys and sharing with you guys when I do moronic things and I just miss something. This is what I missed, and I realized it when I was putting this video together. They're the frickin' same scenes. How did I not realize this? How have I not read this in all of the research that I've done? Like the Mewtwo V-Star is Mew getting ready to go after Charizard. The Charizard V-Star is Charizard getting ready to go on the defense. Like they're the same frickin' scene, just two different views of it. It was one of those things I was like, man, I'm so dumb. I've got to get this in front of my subscribers and in front of my, my people, because I just like being human with you guys and sharing you. Even I make some silly mistakes from time to time. But I'm gonna get that Mewtwo V-Star in a PSA 10. I have, I think, 5 of those Charizard V-Stars at PSA. I have no doubt at least one will come back into 10. So I'm gonna get them both into 10. I'll put them side by side. I'll do some kind of cool display out of it, and we will go from there. But anyways, I thought I would share with you my silliness, and I just thought that was really cool. I hope you guys have an epic weekend, and as I said before, we have lots of really cool content coming out. If you're interested in it, if you find value in this, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. I appreciate you more than you know. Have an awesome one, everybody.